Imagine gripping the armrests of an airplane as it rattles through turbulence. Your heart races, palms sweat, and you feel a genuine sense of danger. Now imagine looking down to text a friend while merging onto a busy interstate. If you look at the raw data, commercial aviation is incredibly safe. In a typical year, millions of flights land without incident. Meanwhile, tens of thousands of people die on the roads. So why does the brain sound a massive alarm at 30,000 feet, while allowing us to comfortably take our eyes off the road at 70 miles per hour? The answer lies in a psychological glitch known as the availability heuristic. When you ask your brain to calculate the odds of an event occurring, it doesn't run a mathematical formula. Instead, it estimates probability based entirely on how easily it can remember an example of something happening. Human risk assessment is detached from statistical reality, driven instead by the quirky retrieval systems of our memory. To understand why this happens, we have to look at dual process theory, a model of human cognition popularized by Nobel laureate Daniel Kahneman. Kahneman identified two distinct modes of thinking. The first is System 2, your analytical brain. It handles complex logic and actual math, but it operates slowly and it demands a massive amount of metabolic energy to function. Then there is System 1. Rather than a tangled, high-energy analytical process, System 1 is a fast, automatic survival mechanism. To conserve energy, it relies on cognitive shortcuts for snap judgments. One favorite shortcut is substitution. Faced with a complex statistical question, System 1 hits a wall, so it swaps out the hard question for an easier one. Can I quickly remember a plane crash? We are biologically wired to be efficient, not accurate. Our brains willingly sacrifice objective truth just to save a few calories. The problem with relying on memory is that our internal filing system doesn't sort information by statistical frequency. It prioritizes memories based on how recent they are and how much emotion they carry. When a commercial jet does go down, the event dominates global news for weeks. The imagery is terrifying and highly emotional, leaving a vivid imprint on your mind. Car crashes happen thousands of times a day, but they are visually mundane and rarely make national headlines. They leave almost no emotional footprint to trigger a quick recall. Our modern digital environment exploits this glitch. Every time we open a screen, we are flooded with extreme anomalies, rare tragedies, and shocking headlines. A media diet saturated with these memorable events warps our perception of the world. Because these rare anomalies are so easy to recall, the exceptionally rare begins to feel like an everyday threat. The reach of this heuristic extends far into our financial lives. It drives us to buy extensive insurance policies we don't need, make poor financial investments, and panic sell our stocks during minor market corrections. It also drives how we judge other people. We relied on a vivid stereotype or a single recent news story to evaluate an entire demographic, rather than looking at factual reality. This diagram illustrates what statisticians call base rates. Base rates are the actual boring background statistics of a situation, the hundreds of thousands of safe flights, or the millions of ordinary human interactions, represented here by the gray dots. The single glowing red dot is the vivid anomaly. When we have access to an emotional story, we chronically ignore the base rates. We allow a single rare event to swell until it completely blocks out all the ordinary data. Whenever we ignore base rates, we are betting against reality. This leads to systemic, predictable failures in our judgment because our internal models are no longer grounded in truth. We cannot simply delete System 1. Those automatic, irrational leaps are permanently baked into our neurobiology. To outsmart our own biology, we have to build external behavioral guardrails. Behavioral economist Richard Thaler helped pioneer these concepts, known as choice architecture and cognitive forcing strategies. A cognitive forcing strategy can be as simple as deliberately pausing before making a high-stakes decision. Instead of trusting your gut, you force yourself to look up the objective base rate data before you lock in a choice. You have to treat your memory for what it actually is. It evolved to be an engaging storyteller, keeping you alert and alive in a dangerous world. It did not evolve to be an objective statistician. The next time you feel absolute certainty about a risk, take a step back and ask yourself, are you looking at the data, or are you just recalling a really good story?